very successful in this next few months? Because arguably, I think everybody is doing something very, very similar, but I'm going to introduce a new concept that Jeremy and I were talking about earlier today before we got on this call to prepare. Yes, Real Academy. We did prepare for this one. And I think you're going to like it. I think you're going to get a lot of value. So Jeremy, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, Jeremy Knight, your favorite Austin realtor, 15,000 subscribers, more than Trey's 10,000 subscribers.
No,
Since
that's
we are
5,000. You said 15,000 more. You only have 5,000 more. So,
well, 15,000 compared to your 10,000 is what I'm saying.
Right.
So we are in a heated competition now. Trey is going to pass me. He thinks he's amazing. So I'm excited for him. I can't wait. I can't wait for the day that Trey Serrano surpasses me in subscriber count. I'm excited for it. I'm here for it.
And you're going to help me, please.
Okay. I'll continue to give you sage words of wisdom.
Thanks. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the concept. So Gary Vee has the, obviously one of the #1 marketing influencers in the world. So Gary Vee has this be the digital mayor, and Jeremy does this. I do this, and many other, great people in our industry do this. But to me, I don't agree with be the digital mayor. I really think instead of being the digital mayor, you should be a concerned citizen, a super fan of your local area, and also don't be afraid to do hot button topics. So what do you think about that, Jeremy?
I think that's what I've been doing the entire time. And the problem with doing hot button topics is you probably won't grow your channel as fast as you could grow it. Like the hot button topics are good, but you'll get more like ready to go clients, like people that are a little more solid. And from what I've seen, but that's just me. So, I mean, there's channels out there that just do the property walkthroughs and they're successful. It's good. Do that. If you find that mundane and boring, like how many homes can you walk through and point out, this is a refrigerator, this is a countertop, like, and you just want to shoot yourself after doing 100 of those, like, then, do stuff that is going to educate the buyer pool that you're looking for or the seller pool. I think we forget as agents doing a YouTube channel that there's a whole host of sellers that come from learning about neighborhoods and stuff like that, or learning about the problems that could face them with their property, right? Samsung going into Austin in this area might raise the values of your home. The caveat, it's going to raise the property taxes of your home. Let's talk about both. So I think there's a lot of room there to marry the two as well, but I do like where you're headed.
Awesome. So I'm going to talk about these, this kind of concerned citizen. Being a digital mayor is great and all, but if you think of a digital mayor, it's just like somebody who's shaking hands, kissing babies, and telling people what they want to hear for popularity, right? Mayors get elected. So we're doing a spin on this, and we're saying don't do that, and you should be a concerned citizen. So think about any place you go to eat, to shop, you look at reviews, right? And the most detailed, realistic reviews are the ones that you're going to influence, or that are going to influence your decision. It's very, very similar in the real estate world. People are going to listen to informational, very direct and honest information given by the person who either used the product, lived in the area, ate at the restaurant, whatever. So let's magnify this to on a much larger scale, which is neighborhoods, areas, developments. So I have 4 pillars that I wrote down, and you're welcome to take this. And those of you rewatching, I'm going to give you 1 pillar at a time to make you stay on this call. Just kidding. I'll write them all down on the chat. So the first one, and Jeremy obviously does this very, very well, is the first pillar is coming soon. So coming soon is, Jeremy, what do you think about the coming soon pillar?
I like it. It's something that we've integrated recently, and I find that you can spur really good debate and healthy conversation when you talk about, hey, what do you think about this development that's coming in? It's doing this, it's doing this. It could do this, it could do this. What are your thoughts? It spurs a lot of debate, and you're educating people on, different area. Like at the same time, you could say, well, look, this is developing in here. A local neighborhood like X is going to get direct benefit from this. Now you're educating people. But here's the flip side. It could bring this. What are your thoughts? So you spur really good debate. And then on top of that, you also create engagement, which helps you all the way around.
So this actually came into my benefit very recently when I got a phone call from somebody who they walked into a new build community. The builder talked about a development. So they went on TikTok and they typed the development in. My video popped up first. They saw the video. They were like, okay, this guy's a realtor. Called me, met him at the sales office. We literally signed the purchase agreement right then and there. But because of that pillar of the coming soon, I did talk about what the community was doing and how it would influence the area, and asking, like, is there anybody else that's seeing any difference in this upcoming community? So I feel like this, to some people, may not say like, well, how is me telling somebody something's coming going to get me business? It's just one part of where you can grow your audience and the trust, the know, like, and trust thing, by just telling somebody what's happening in their area. And, everyone wants a local agent, right?
Right.
So to continue this, I love the coming soon. I think it's one that does extremely well. And I mean, it never gets old, right? Because there's always things coming, there's always things changing. So it's going to be really good. Hope it helps somebody. So the second is controversial issues.
How do people find that information? Because they're going to ask that. Well, how do I know what's coming?
Oh, so what I do is I Google, and I just Google my city. I subscribe to the business journals, any kind of local paper, online, of course, and Express News, any of the local news sources that, whether they're credible or not, doesn't matter. It's just information that people consume, and that's usually who knows more.
Well, another thing you could do, and this will help your YouTube channel or help wherever you're, posting this content, is asking your audience, hey, what have you heard that you want more information on? And have them give you the information as well. So on your YouTube channel, on the community page, like I'll just post like, hey, what have you seen coming to Austin that you want more information on? And then you could toss that into a video, right? So that would be, and then now they're engaged, and now they're going to want to see that video when it comes out too.
Yeah, I think Facebook or Instagram stories is a really good place to do that. And if you just put it like, what information do you want to know in, San Antonio or whatever city? Mm-hmm. That's a good idea, actually. I gotta do that.
It's a great idea. I came up with it.
Good. I wrote that up. I wrote that one down. Thank you, Jeremy.
You're welcome.
So the second one is controversial issues. So this can be just what's going on in your town, but it can be something like the STR permits. When cities and towns have regulations, or they go to city council about short-term rentals, that's a really good one to talk about in your local areas. I did a video recently about a neighboring suburb, New Braunfels, and they had an article about the people that went to the city council meeting were against more restrictions on short-term rentals. I guess the ones who went have short-term rentals. But that's interesting to know, because if somebody is looking to buy a short-term rental, because that's pretty common nowadays, you're the person to give that information. So it just be like a good fit if you're looking to get more business. Jeremy, you can elaborate much more on controversial issues. Talk to me.
Well, I mean, I think again, like controversial issues are important because they get views, they get clicks. You also have to tie it back to what your content's about, who your avatar is, right? Because if you just do nothing but controversial takes, you're not going to really get clients from that. So controversial takes are very good to have because they get views, but I wouldn't make every video you create about controversial takes. I would have like a whole bucket like we're doing that's controversial takes. But also remember you got to tie it back to something in real estate. So like what you were saying about the short-term rentals. Hey, investors that are looking to invest right now, if you're not able to get Airbnbs in San Antonio, how is that going to impact you as an investor? Start that off as the question and then go through the information. And at the end of it, so as an investor, is this something that you want more information on? You know, you can reach out to me. So, you know, you just have to make sure you're not like, and I tell you this because I've been the person to make these mistakes where all I talk about is just the negative stuff, and then all the comments are just nothing but negative on my channel. It's like, well, why am I not growing the channel? Well, it's because all I'm talking about is negative stuff. So there's a fine line there, but definitely don't be afraid to talk about things that are going to impact, you know, the people that you're trying to help.
Yep. And yeah, it creates just a circle of trust. I feel like if you're the one delivering information, it's I think it's going to really help. So third one is informational. So this is a good pillar that is used a lot with like, you don't need 20% down, or, you know, the VA loan is 0 down. However, I feel like informational videos should be very, very local to your area. To share a success story, I had an investor call me because he bought a property in a certain part of San Antonio. He went on TikTok and searched that neighborhood, and I was like, he's like, well, your video popped up like 3 times, so I figured you do a lot around here, and I don't. You know, it's just the way the algorithm works. But it's informational videos in that area which led me to more business, and I feel like people do it. You know, I see my fellow colleagues out there doing amazing things. I would say what I do is I get more information, very specific information about the areas, neighborhoods, and what's around it, so people can make their own decisions.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. So actually, to add to the informational, it just be local. You know, back to the be a concerned citizen, and say this is the information, this is the good or bad information, but it's the information. You're not saying this is a great place to live because X and X. You're saying this is what it's like, or this is the subdivision, they have this many homes, this is the incentives, this is what's around you, this is what the traffic is like, this is what the school ratings are. Like, just total information. And I think you know, that video is basically a YouTube video, which is a really good, you know, pillar to have.
You know, I think it's really important what you're saying here, because I recently did a video. I moved outside of Austin. I recently did a video where I was talking, like, I'm like, I want to sell more stuff out of my area. I've talked about this area, but let me just start talking about it more. So we shot 5 best neighborhoods. We created 5 reels for each neighborhood, and I put that on the YouTube channel, put it on Instagram, whatever. There's a withdrawn property that just withdrew in one of those zip codes, and it withdrew, and the seller literally reached out to me right after she withdrew it with her current agent, and reached out to me because of those videos. So definitely try to, you know, if you're not somebody that wants to work 4 hours or an hour away from where you are, make content more local to where you are.
Mm-hmm. You know, and I'm sure what people see is the success, right? The whole concept of tip of the iceberg. You know, Jeremy's been making videos probably longer than I've been alive. That's a joke. And you know, it's some that hit, but some that don't. But overall, being a concerned citizen, reading the review that we're all used to, is likely going to get you the most attraction for business. And that's a good way to put it, right, Jeremy? It's an
Yeah.
attraction for business there's so many other ways to get business in real estate and leads and all that stuff. We're just showing you one way, how, I actually prefer, I actually prefer to attract the business as opposed to asking for it.
Right.
So before we get to some questions, let's do the last pillar that I think is really, really cool. So the what's it like pillar. Now this one is super, super subjective, and it's something that is like, perfect word that comes to mind is vibe. Like, what's the vibe in that area? People will watch videos, they'll like just, if they're house shopping, they'll just drive through neighborhoods and they're just wanting to know, what is it like living in downtown San Antonio, living in a suburb, living, in the outskirts, living in a gentrified area, living in whatever. But the what's it like is really, really good. And this one is a perfect pillar to add a friend, to add another agent. Like, what is it like being here? Or maybe a past client. What was it like living here before you sold it? And actually, this is a good segue to Jeremy's talk on the street. Tell me about that.
Yeah. I mean, this is something I've done. I started doing a while ago. Unfortunately, COVID hit. And so it was a lot tougher to manage something like this. But here's the thing is that most people, they listen to us as real estate agents. And so they see us as just real estate agents. And so when we go to ask and answer some of these questions, they might not trust us as much because we're real estate agents and have something to sell. So I recently went back to this strategy of interviewing people. It can be a challenge to do, but I started interviewing people about what their thoughts about the city were. You could do this in various ways. I basically Googled the 5 most searched things about Austin, and I went out and interviewed people about the 5 most asked questions, right? Is Austin safe? Things that sometimes we can't answer as real estate agents, and got people's honest reactions. And then we made a bunch of clips out of that, and the clips did really well as well. But then it's not coming from you. And so you create this honesty in the fact that you're allowing other people to have a voice on your channel and a voice in your space that might be contrary to your space or to what you're saying. And it's okay to have contrary voices. And so it's going back to that, should you be talking about, negative things? So allowing other people to speak now goes, oh, wow, this person does actually care because they're allowing other people to have a voice. So if you're doing stuff like that, I think it's advantageous to continue to do it. Or if you're not, definitely start doing something like that. Now you could stage it, right? So you can reach out to Facebook followers, Instagram followers, like, hey, I need some help shooting a video. Who can meet me at the Domain for interviews today? I'll pretend like you're just an average person that walks by. I mean, not everything is reality, right? So I'm having to film some stuff up north Austin. I'm afraid I'm going to get kicked out within 2 minutes. So that's something I may have to do.
Yep. The what's it like is really, really good. So what I can relate it to is, sorry, I thought I heard something, is when I post on Facebook about my video. So like I put, what's the worst thing about San Antonio? And then I would just allow people on Facebook to just give me the content. And then I make a YouTube video out of it. And I say, this person said this about this area, this area. I can see why they said that because this is what's actually there. And this is what I see coming. So you're not saying it's your opinion, but it's really, really good content for the locals because they don't know they're going to be on a video. They're sharing on a social platform. I don't know if this is like, you're allowed to do this, but I do it all the time. And it's really good because like Jeremy said, it gives them a platform to share concerns. And then you can also do that on Instagram Live. You can do that on, Facebook Live, on YouTube. There's so much in that pillar of what's it like that you can collaborate with other agents to give people really, really good information about moving to the areas. I did that one time in downtown, and we went to the Alamo, and somebody came up to me and was like, you can't be here. This is property of the state of Texas. And I said I was Davy Crockett, and they didn't believe me. Just kidding. So so of course be careful, but you'd be surprised. People are open to, sharing their information of what they think, because a lot of them don't have the followers and social media accounts that you guys do. So I think it's really engaging, and I've actually got a few followers just based on like, oh, hey, I'm visiting, Lynn, it's so cool that you're doing this. You're asking people's opinion, like, can I follow you? And it's a great way to make connections as well, and obviously the content on your stories, and I think it's just going to really help. But what's it like?
So the interviews I did last week, or that I filmed a couple weeks ago, but one of the women who didn't want to be interviewed, but her friend got interviewed, like she stopped after the interview. She's like, well, wait, so tell me about this YouTube channel thing a little bit more. And so I started explaining it. She's like, oh, so you're a realtor? I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, well, give me your information because I'm going to reach out. I'm going to probably be moving here. My daughter is going to UT. And so I want to move here. I'm like, all right, done. So I gave her my information. My wife just had a buyer appointment from it. So it is a good way to prospect as well. It's just going out and asking people their opinion.
Yep. And I didn't want to be the look at me guy, but when I did those videos, one of the guys that I interviewed was like, hey, I recognize you from YouTube. And I was like, oh, cool. And then a week later, he called me. He's like, hey, man, or reached out to me and said that he wants to sell his house. He's moving back to Nashville or something. So
yeah, nice.
I said, it's like, you're hearing, the stories of Jeremy and I and how we get some business from it, but just realize that it does not come overnight or after a few videos. It comes from years and years and years of video information, but we're just trying to break this down to you guys on how we did it. And if
It
we
just
were
comes down
explaining this,
to, it comes down to consistency, really. Like, I think the problem is everybody's looking for the shortcut, right? They want to, oh, what's the shortcut to get to be doing 100 deals a year? What's the shortcut to be doing this? There's no shortcuts. You have to do the work. And I think, where we're coming from on our video content and ideas is the fact that we've been doing this a while. We've learned from each other. Like, there's stuff that I still want to learn. I look at content other people do and I go, okay, that's good content. How can I create that my way? And I think the thing is, like, for anybody looking at the content we're doing or the content like you're doing, figure out how to do it for yourself and make it your voice versus copying. It's kind of hysterical. Obviously, Katie Day moved me to Texas, right? And she has a very unique style. I noticed a girl in her market literally was, Katie would put out a video and that girl put out a video 4 days later that Katie just did. Like Katie would do it, how Katie would do it. And so she has a mini me doing exactly her same stuff. She's like the Hispanic version of Katie Day. And it's hysterical. Stop being Katie Day and be yourself. Take inspiration from what Katie did and figure out how to make it for yourself. And so now I've seen this girl do this for a while, and now you could tell she's starting to make it her voice, but it's still very Katie Day. Very interesting. So just, you can take pieces from the content, the ideas we take, and make it your own. And because everybody has different audiences. Trey has a completely different audience than I do. Katie Day has a completely different audience than I do. And we all create content the way we're going to create it. Just take cues of what's working.
Yep. And I'm stealing this from Tim Macy. I don't steal much from Tim Macy, but when he said this, it resonated with me. Is you got to stop being a realtor on camera. You got to stop with the like, you're not a realtor on camera. You're a concerned citizen. Like, you live in your town, obviously. So, or where you work typically. So be a concerned citizen and tell people what's going on. That's just, it will, I mean, I haven't met somebody who does this on a regular basis, and Jeremy said it's consistent, that doesn't get business. I have yet to meet one all over the country at all the events we go to. I've never met somebody that's like, oh yeah, I do a ton of local content and I don't get no business. And it's it's so good. So good, like Jeremy. Do we have any questions? Samuel and Charles, do you have anything? I know most of this is rewatched later, but do you guys got anything? No, just soaking it in. That's good. That's good.
One thing I saw, and I sent it to you today, and I sent it to Tim. I saw it on Instagram. It was this guy talking about using Chat GPT. And what was interesting about what he said, if you don't know the struggles of your buyer or seller profile, go into Chat GPT and ask Chat GPT to create a profile of a millennial buyer looking to buy in the Austin area right now and the struggles they have. Then create a video or create content around answering those issues. And you can even then take Chat GPT and go, based on this, what would be the answers to these and how can I put that into a video? And so you can use ChatGPT on both sides. So if you think about it, if I were to create content, so let's say my buyer profile is someone in tech wanting to be in Austin between, $600,000 and $2 million. Let's say it's my ideal client base because that's where I can find properties. I can find them properties. Well, what is the problem they're facing? Well, my under 1 million buyers probably have restraints with interest rates. Okay, well, how do we get around restraints with interest rates? We find builders that in the areas they want to be in that can give discounts on the interest rate. So if I were to go to ChatGPT, it's going to give me answers like that. So then I create a video. It could create you could create a long form video answering all of those, and then boom, take and make 5 shorts or 5 reels out of it. And then you're putting that across multiple audiences, right? And that buyer profile or seller profile is going to go, oh shoot, this guy gets me. Well, no, I just use ChatGPT to figure you out. You make blogs out of that. Turn that into a blog. You know what I'm saying? Like put it on your website, drive SEO back to your website.
So I've been using ChatGPT for my videos, but what I do is almost like I argue against ChatGPT. So I'll say in my video, hey, I just put in ChatGPT what it's like living in San Antonio, Texas. And these are the 5 things that ChatGPT says. And then I say it because everyone's like, well, ChatGPT, they know everything, right? So then for you to say what, it's engaging because it'll also, gives you content ideas to what to say against it. Like they say it's, very diverse and a great job market. However, if you Google it, it doesn't. And, from this comment earlier, they said that it's, they're having a tough time finding a job. And it'll also be something that, is engaging because you're a local, right? Again, back to the citizen. A lot of people, I'll say this is a great area. I had a viral TikTok video. It was for $170,000 house in San Antonio. And I'm just like, there's a barbecue place here. There's a barbecue place here. This is right down the street from downtown. And it went viral, not because it's a great video. It's because people were like, this guy's full of shit. This is in the hood. This is like, there's shootings. I used to sell drugs on this street, like all kind of comments. But it was, a platform for people to tell me how that is not a safe area. But it was interesting.
That's fun. I like that.
Are you using anything else for ChatGPT, Jeremy?
I'm using it. So I'm using it I'm using it in a couple different ways. So if I'm coming up with content, one thing that I'm doing is, like I'll find an article that would take me, 10 minutes to read through, 10 minutes to really like highlight the most important pieces. And then from there, trying to create a video from it. Well, or make talking points for a video. Well, what I'm doing with ChatGPT is literally copying and pasting the entire article, putting in ChatGPT, says, and I'll say, summarize this in 3 paragraphs. And then I'll take it and then I'll say, of this, write the the 5 key points of this video. And so now I don't have to read the entire article, and then I have the 5 key pieces without me having to write them down. And then from there, I'll say, now using this, give me 5 paragraphs to use in a video, up to 2 minutes in a video. And then I can segue it. So, in this article that just came out, this is a good reference of what we were just talking about, because here's the 5 key things of it, this, and this, and this. And from the article, what I pulled out was this, and I did it in 3 minutes from ChatGPT. So it's making my workflow a lot easier when trying to come up with content to talk about. Now, the problem is, like with ChatGPT, unless you pay for the paid version, a lot of it's not up-to-date stuff. It's like 2021 and older. So you do have to, make sure you're copying and pasting that article in. You can't just go, ChatGPT, tell me about the housing market, because it's going to be like, what? So finding articles that kind of reference what you're wanting to put into a video. And then you could say, you could take all of these articles, right? So you just copy and paste each one. Now make me a 10-minute video highlighting the key points of each one of these articles and putting it into one 10-minute video.
So I think this is great information. So I use ChatGPT for just a little bit different, where I ask it, like, what's this area known for? What are the most dangerous parts about this? Is this area safe? And I basically say, this is what ChatGPT says. This is what I think. This is what ChatGPT says. This is what I think. But Jeremy's using it as basically a summary of all the points he's going to do, so his workflow is minimized. I think that's pretty damn smart. So let me see, San Antonio. I'm just gonna do it live with you guys so you can kind of see housing news. Okay, so if I do housing news and okay. Let's see, go to news here on Google. These are articles I already looked at. Okay. San Antonio housing market coming back down to earth. February sales declined 28%. Okay, so if I do you just copy the URL, or do you actually copy and paste what they actually say?
What's in the actual article?
Okay. So it's not a very long article. So if I copy and paste this into ChatGPT, hey, can you summarize this article? Obviously. Nope. There you go. I spelled it right. Okay. Okay. So I put, can you summarize this article? This article is discussed current state of the housing market, slowdown. Okay. They did a little longer.
Yeah, I would say in 2 paragraphs. Now, or I would say, can you give me the 5 or give me 3 important bullet points from this article? Yeah, can you summarize? Yeah.
Can you summarize in 3 bullet points? Oh, I love bullet points. My brain listens to this way more. Existing home sales dropped by 28% compared to previous year, indicating and claiming down housing market. Frenzy caused by pandemic. Median house price remains at 300. Homes are taking longer to sell, staying in the market for about 2 months instead of a few weeks, giving buyers more opportunities and negotiating power. Ooh, that's so good. So good.
Yeah.
So from this,
now you could put it to like 5, like, you could do 5 bullet points and probably give you a little bit more to work with. The thing with that, like if you read that article, like you see all the negative, you don't really get the month over month data, the year over year data. So that's where you kind of have to be careful of what you take just from articles, because then you become reventure and just take exactly what you read in articles and go, see, the market's crashing. When in reality, if you looked at the actual stats and you track the stats, you would see probably a different story happening.
So this is a good article. This is saying San Antonio deemed number 9 for housing market for growth and stability. So you can say in your town, so like you can say San Antonio made the top 10 list in San Antonio deemed for growth and stability. So let's put this into Chat GPT.
And it said Austin was number 1, by the way.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, it did. Scroll down the article.
Give me a second. Can you give me 5 bullet points from this article? Did it really?
Yeah, right there, right there. The 10
Austin's
best
the
housing
worst.
markets.
Yeah, growth and stability, because you guys already crashed. We didn't crash yet. Okay, so I don't know what happened here. Okay, here we go. Existing home sales have dropped by 20. Wait, did we do this? Bible, yeah. Median home price reminds. Oh wait, oops, I didn't hit send. Here we go. 5 bullet points. Smart Assets 23 ranks San Antonio the 9th best housing market in the nation. San Antonio Browse is 204%. This is great. 5 other Texas metros, including Austin, Round Rock, Midland, Odessa, were on the list. So like this is multiple videos that you can do. You can say which San Antonio made the top 10 for growth and stability in the nation. Let's see where they ranked. And then you can say the top and like almost start with number 1. And then you can do another video.
Now you could just type in there, from this article, can you create me a eye-popping 60-second short video script?
From these bullet points, can you create me a 60-second engaging video script? Opening shot. It even gives you the B-roll. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is so good. So good.
Yeah.
So Texas and Lone Star State known for rich and booming culture. But did you know that Texas is also home to the best housing markets in the nation? Take San Antonio, for example. A recent study from Accredited shows it's ranked 9th in, I mean, this just by itself can be a whole YouTube video. That's just crazy. From its strong jobbing, the presence of major employers like Valero USA has attracted people in all walks of life. It's not just San Antonio. Austin is the worst city in America. And Jeremy, oh, I'm sorry, it didn't say that part.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So then,
on a throne of lies.
Can you make this script more controversial? No, so I do not know how to spell controversial because I'm not controversial. I can't spell controversial.
No, it's
Can you call
yeah, CONTROVERSIAL, I think. Yeah,
I think it corrected. You're the best, dude. See, that's why I'm in Texas and you're in California. Okay, can you make the script more controversial? Okay, not perfect. It said the Lone Star State is known for its rich culture and controversial housing market. Okay. Yeah, that's not very good. But yeah, that's pretty amazing that we can do this. Yeah, this is really good. So then this, and anything else to add to this, Jeremy?
No, I mean, you can play with it a bunch of different ways. I mean, you can keep asking it. Like, I mean, here's the thing is like those scripts I don't usually use. I like to look at the bullet points because I'm a little bit different. But if you're looking for, hey, here's just what to say, how to say it, and then you find B-roll for it, like that's pretty. I mean, you can literally take that script, the narrations, and send it to your editor. Hey, I'm going to film this. Can you take this and create a 60-second short using this or follow it? And so now you have the script. Now you're having what ChatGPT says, and your editor can go, oh, cool. I can just pull in the B-roll and create this for you. So pretty smooth.
Right. So I'm saying, so I just told them to take out the B-roll, what to suggest, like show images of overwhelmed Austin, worst tacos ever. And I just put, I wrote, can you make this sound more controversial? Can you make this tone sound more controversial? But did you know, I love that line, but did you know Texas has some of the most fiercely debated and polarizing housing markets in the nation? Oh, it's so good. See, this is more my speed right here. With an astronomical 204 surge in home price in 1988, San Antonio has become a lightning rod for heated debates and deep divisions. All right, that's a little too much. Anyway, that's I think that summarizes what Jeremy was saying, which that's some good stuff, dude. Thanks for sharing that. So then what I do on ChatGPT is
That's just going to help you get to 15,000, you know?
Gonna get to 16,000. You watch.
Right. I'm watching.
But I still ask you for advice, so fair enough.
Okay. Fair enough.
So what is, and then you insert your town. Let's say I'm gonna obviously do San Antonio. What is San Antonio known for?
Make it controversial.
So it's known for the Alamo, the Riverwalk, cultural diversity, fiesta, military presence. Okay. What are the worst things about San Antonio?
Serrano.
There we go. This is the good stuff. This is 1 through 5. These are the 5 worst things about San Antonio. Number 1 is going to be traffic congestion. It sucks. Extreme weather, education rankings, income inequality. I agree with that. And limited public transportation. And you can elaborate on this. Where are the most, because is this coming from you? No, it's coming from this AI thing. What is the most dangerous places in San Antonio? Oh my God, I can't spell that. Dangerous. There's an E in there. Places in San Antonio. I can't even spell San Antonio. Oh, it's a good one. Bam. Crime rate fluctuates, blah, blah, blah. East side, west side, downtown, and near east side. So yeah, this is good. I mean, they pretty much nailed it. So if you were to do a video on this, you can start the video by saying, hey, I want to ChatGPT and I want to go over the 4 most dangerous areas in San Antonio. And according to this, the east side neighborhoods are, Denver Heights, Eastwood Village. Let's look on a Google map of these communities and let's see where they are compared to the city. So you have these homes priced in this, this, and this. And let's go to the west side. And they're saying Edgewood, Guadalupe Street. Let's see what these areas are. Look at the home prices here and what's around it. Same with downtown and then the near east side, Dignity. I see Samuel shaking his head like, oh yeah, totally. Are you gonna use this?
Yeah, I'm just imagining myself using that. Yeah.
Yep. That's so good. Jeremy, you got anything else?
I'm good. I'm Googling best areas to buy right now, trying to find articles, and there's a top 15 and I'm looking to see it. Nope, San Antonio's not on it. So it's just, but if you want to move to Portland, Tennessee, apparently single family residences are 263.
Ooh.
Or Louisville, Ohio. And the one picture is like a disgusting building with snow around it. Yeah, that looks great. So no, I mean,
Well,
like here's the thing is like with all of this, if you do what Trey said at the beginning, come up with 5 buckets of content to do, and then you implement those, like legitimately, you can take a video and like right now, what I'm doing with my videographer is like we shoot content. I say, okay, now I need you to create 4 to 5 reels out of this. That way we can have reels out of it. So now he's cutting reels out of it. I'll shoot different reels throughout the week to shoot to him as like, I like this audio, what they did here, cut this for me. And so he's cutting it for me. So if you're doing this on your own, you could still use AI tools like Vidzio to cut these into reels, right? Or shorts. So I would, the whole point of this, I think, is to figure out the content that you're using, put it into video, and then find out different where to put that to get the largest audience. So apparently TikTok is where it's at. I don't even know how to spell TikTok, so I'm not the person to ask.
I'm definitely not the person to ask. I misspelled like 3 things today.
Yeah.
And yeah, going over what we mentioned in the beginning, pillars are just a guide. Like if you don't want to use pillars, if you just like, I just do what I want, or I just do whatever's relevant, like no problem. We're not telling you have to use these pillars, but they're just a good guide, because all of us at some point we get stuck and we don't know what to post next, or it's like I posted 10 videos and nothing has happened, no business came from it. Like we get stuck. I would say use this as like, okay, these 4 pillars, and there's pillars everywhere. Everybody's a coach, but it's just a guide to get relevant information in which people are seeking in your area. They get the information from your area and they get it from you. There's a lot more of a chance that you will attract business based on the relevant and good information that you give.
Yeah. And do interviews. People love interviews.
Yeah. This was a good one, man.
Don't tell anybody.
I hope I can get a copy of this. Can I get a copy of this?
Yeah. Real? Where you at?
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah. We'll see.
Hey, Real, how can we get a copy of this?
For real.
Maybe not. Okay.
There's nobody there. They gave up on us.
Yeah. Well, Samuel, do you have any questions before we go? You hung out the whole time.
Yeah, this was very this was very informational on and it's very helpful for me to like come up with ideas to say in my content videos. And the ChatGPT, the AI stuff is very powerful, man. But yeah, I do have one quick question, going back to the second pillar. So I wrote down that for the third is informational, you want to talk about local to area info, and then 4th was what it's like vibe. What was the second pillar? Controversial issues supposed to be like, what was the key term that you were saying about focusing on?
I don't remember, but I know it's controversial. So I have it on the chat. First pillar coming soon. Second pillar, controversial issues. Third pillar, informational. 4th pillar, what's it like?
Oh,
So
okay.
controversial issues is just like I mentioned the example of the short-term rental regulations. So if your town or city is having short-term rental issues, or they're going to pass some ordinance or something, like that's a controversial. People are like, I don't want STR Airbnb. People are like, I want to make more money. I do want more Airbnb. So it's just whatever's happening in your local market that people would be interested in. And it doesn't have to be like, a new development is coming? Like, what do you think? Like, I mean, that's not really that groundbreaking that there's a new development happening, but the controversial issues is like, you know, how is it going to affect your home equity if now there's more competition with this new build or this new build community? How is that going to affect the neighbors who are living in, you know, a couple miles, you know, within radius?
Oh, so that's how you do it. You follow up with the question like, how do you think this will affect you, or what do you think about this, to get feedback from your audience? That's
Yep.
what it's. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Dude, I'm glad that clicked. Awesome. So stop being the mayor, start being the citizen. I'm gonna put that on a t-shirt.
Hey, I have a question for you. You might know this, so it's just an off question. So when people drop in the comments on your Instagram, they're like, love this, DM it to @ whatever. They're wanting you to DM the video that you did, right? So they can copy it and put it up as their own video.
I think so.
Oh yeah, it's lame. Fuck that.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't pay attention to those people. I used to mess with them, but it's just a bot, I guess, that does it every time. All right. That's all I got.
That's all I got.
Thanks for Academy. Shoot me a DM if you need help with anything.
I'll shoot you DM no matter what.
And if you want to complain, please email Tamir@therealbrokerage.com.
Yes, 100%.
Ciao.